Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Archonn, back with my sort of yearly return to making videos with the start of World Cup 5. This is week 1. I was playing in OU against Ryuner, who is on Team Peru. Team USA is looking to do a little bit better than we have the past couple years. I don't think we've won a week in the past 2 years. Um, we actually ended up tying this week, but so did everybody else in the group, so I guess no harm, no foul. But we're definitely looking to do better this year. Um, so for this week, I built a team sort of around Togekiss here. I figured Togekiss would be pretty good in this meta, especially since we're seeing a lot of like superior and superior counters like Weezing. Just like a fast special attacker that can flinch is quite nice right now, I'd reckon. So I sort of built around that, as well as Darmanitan. And Conkeldurr, who are just really fast, hard-hitting Mons. So now I wanted to start looking at his team with a pivot in case he goes to Wobbuffet right away, so that I can get out of there. Figure Darmanitan's a little bit better in case he wants to start, Mamo or Magnezone or Serp even. And U-turn does damage to Wobbuffet pretty well too, and I can switch into Kaffa for a counter if he decides to stay in. So Darm's my start here. Starts with his Rotom. It's fine, we can just U-turn out. Go into Garchomp, which is full special defense. Probably the best Rotom counter in the game right now, even though it's not a great one. But anyways, I see that does a lot of damage, so we know it doesn't have any physical defense, which means he's probably going to trick here. But Garchomp is specifically here to deal with Rotom, so it's fine that he gets tricked. You can go between Toxic and Stealth Rocks. I decided to go for the Toxic in case he switches into Wobbuffet. So we got this Rotom Toxic and chipped a little bit, so that's pretty much all that Garchomp is here for, is to do what it just did. Tank this Hydro Pump. Doesn't do that much. Has pretty good defenses. It's pretty crazy how there's really no good Volt blocker in the OU meta right now. If something's ground, then it's weak to water, obviously. So the really only good Volt blocker is Gastrodon, but that mod sucks. Anyways, I hard switch into Rotom here so I can have my own pivot, knowing that I'll be taking a Volt switch from either that Rotom or this Magnezone here. But this is the bulky Rotom that I use in literally every single game ever of all time. I'll tell you next week I'm not using this Rotom. But he goes into Mammo to full block it. Rocks is pretty obvious here, so I go for the Will-O-Wisp. We want to get this thing chipped or, crippled. Mammo's pretty good in the meta right now. Ice is pretty good because of Dragons and because of Superior. And EQ is just always a strong move. But anyways, we cripple it with Will-O-Wisp. Now I get a free defog. He gets a free switch though. Goes into Superior. Superior is so scary in the OU meta right now because of Contrary. Really just can run away with any game at any point. So we're going to be playing around this. That's why we have Darm. But this is for sure his win con. Now we're faced with a tough choice here. Who do we go to take a Leaf Storm? We could go to Toga. It could probably take a couple Leaf Storms. There's probably a chance I die in that exchange though, at the cost of chipping this Superior. Don't really know if I want to make that exchange yet. I'm calcing Darmanitan right now. I see that it only does like 30 to 40% or something. Probably worth getting Darm chipped early to get a strong Flare Blitz off on something. I mean, now that we know Rotom doesn't have any physical defense and that it's chipped and has Toxic, a couple Flare Blitz will finish that thing off quite nice. So really Flare Blitz gets a kill right here. At the cost of 40% of my health. So we'll take that. Get Mammo out of the game. He's just not going to have Stealth Rocks for the rest of the game, so that's super nice. Especially since I have Darm and Toga. So I take an early First Blood. Really, he should have gone Wabu right here and let me Flare Blitz him to die, because this Darmanitan is definitely my win con. I mean, it kills pretty much the rest of his team. Decides to go Conk though. So now here's the first misplay I make this game. I make two big ones. This is the first one. Um, really, the only reason I have Kappa on this team is to deal with Conk. I shouldn't have gone Toga here. I don't know what I was thinking. Like maybe he would Mach Punch or something, and then I'd get in on Toga and be able to Air Slash something. But then I'd get Mach Punched, and that's not really worth chipping my Togekiss, since I need it to win that exchange with Superior, obviously. So Kappa was definitely my play here, especially if you Mach Punch, because then it doesn't even do anything to Kappa. But he doesn't even Mach Punch, he goes for the Rock Slides and claps me. Bad play. So my Togekiss is pretty much worthless now. We'll save it as a sack, though. I should have gone Kappa to begin with. Not really sure what I was thinking there. Free Hex. Goes into zone. Now since we have that Rotom chipped a little bit and Toxic, Garchomp's role this game now is to deal with this Magnezone. This is the main threat that it needs to deal with now, especially since it has a Scarf. Maybe it can outspeed and even EQ something. Specifically, hopefully, this Magnezone. So I got a choice here. I don't think he's staying in. I mean, he doesn't want to catch that EQ, of course. So we're going to go for the Dragon Tail here. He goes into his Rotom, so we get more chip on this thing, which is huge. I mean, the easier it is for Darm to kill this in the future, the better. And we want to see Wobbuffet here because Wobbuffet can't really do anything since it has negative priority moves, but we're using a negative priority move. So this is another free Dragon Tail right here. Now, I should have noted how much damage that did. That'll come into play in the future for our second misplay of the game. But we get Rotom again, which is super nice. I mean, we know we live a Hydro Pump, so if he decides to stay in and do that, we just get to kill him. But he misses. I mean, I'm not going to act like that isn't a huge miss. That's definitely really plays a huge factor in this game. So we're pretty thankful for that miss. Goes into Conk. Again, free coffer right here. I mean, it really shouldn't even be thinking. Click, click. Alright. I don't even know what I was thinking here. It should just be instant Kaffa right now. I'm playing Buy Next Door in week 2. Should have my work cut out for me. He's been number 1 on the OU leaderboards for the past like 3 seasons or something, which is kind of insane. Hopefully I can pull that one out. It'll be a difficult match. I'll post a commentary of it unless I get stomped. In which case I don't really want to upload that for posterity. It's incredible that I'm still thinking about this. Just go Kaffa! Finally, we make the right play. Now here he goes for the Earthquake, and we see that he has a Life Orb, which means he is Sheer Force. That Life Orb wasn't popping because he was using Rock Slide, which has a chance to flinch, which gets negated by Sheer Force, along with his Life Orb. So we know this is Sheer Force. That'll come into play later as well. So that means we can Will-O-Wisp for free and not worry about giving it Guts. But Hex damage is also still free here. I guess it doesn't really matter which one I picked there. Now, like I said, Garchomp's main focus right now is to get rid of this Magnezone, so it's a nice Volt blocker as well, in case he decides to do that. But he decides to double into Serp. Not really sure if that's a good play for him, considering I end up living this Leaf Storm. So I just go for the Dragon Tail again, just get more chip on this thing. Again, you know, as much chip as I can get on this, the easier Darmanitan's job is. Maybe I can even kill this thing with a U-turn, which would be ideal in the future. So any chip on this is great. Like I said, I live this. Garchomp has pretty good bulk. I was very impressed with it this game. This really, it did what I wanted it to do. So that was nice. So it's time for it to go though. Darmanitan cleans up the rest of his team, so I can sack this Garchomp, go into Darm or Conk. Even Conk is a better play here because once I get a kill, he can just bring in Wabu to revenge kill. Now the reason I pause this is because this is where the second misplay comes in. Now, you know how I said we needed to note how much damage the Dragon Tail did to Wobbuffet? Well, it would have told us if Wobbuffet is full physical defense or if it has some special defense invest. Now I'm calculating right now how much a Drain Punch and a Facade does to Wobbuffet. If the Wobbuffet is not max physical defense, a Drain Punch and Facade kills. Drain Punch is the safer play right here, because if he Ice Punches and stays in, then I just tank a Thunderbolt for no reason, and that's not a good look for me, especially since I want this Conk as full as possible for as long as possible. But if he goes into Wobbuffet, and I Drain Punch and then Facade, and he's full defense, then I don't kill it. So really this is a trade-off. Either I pick the safer move, Drain Punch, and hope that Wobbuffet is not max physical defense, and then Facade for the kill, or I Ice Punch and Facade, which kills no matter what, even if it is full physical defense. I could have calculated that it was physical defense before I made this move due to how much damage Dragon Tail did, but I didn't even think about that at the time. I hope that made sense. Saver play is Drain Punch. If I suspected Wobbuffet's coming in, it's Ice Punch. But Drain Punch would be the right play regardless if Wobbuffet is not max physical defense, which at this point I didn't think I didn't know. Oh, fuck. I should have known. Alright, whatever. Here's a misplay. I should have Ice Punched. So of course he goes into Wobbuffet, and I Drain Punch, and learn right now that it is max physical defense. So Facade's not going to kill, unfortunately. But if I would have Ice Punched, it would have. He's Custap, Destiny Bond. I have no choice but to Facade here. So that sucks. I mean, if I would have Ice Punched right there and then Facaded, like I'd have a full Conkeldurr, and that would have been huge. I could have just gone boom, boom, boom with these guys. I mean, Mach Punch obviously kills Magnezone. Serperior, I could have chipped it once more with Darm or something, got a U-turn on it. Probably won the 1v1 with Conkeldurr because he doesn't have Guts. I mean, if I would have Ice Punched there, this is a 4-0. Maybe even a 5 if I'm sick. But we lose Conk, so this becomes a super close game. So now I'm gonna either choose Darm or Rotom. Darm is the better play if I think he's going Magnezone or Serperior, but I would want to go Rotom if I think he's gonna go Conk. Even if he does go Conk and I go Darm, I could just switch into Kappa. But I want to keep this Kappa full because I can kind of tell that it's going to come down to Kappa in the end. I mean, I have a sack with Toga, but Darm will get a kill. I'll have to sack. Darm will get another kill. I'll have to sack, and then it'll be Kappa, right? Anyways, I go Darm. He goes Magnezone. I think this is probably his worst option. Superpower is huge damage on anything left, and probably even kills Serperior in 2 shots even after the -1 drop. But he goes into Conk. I think his better option was probably sacking there, because now I just gotta go free into Kappa. He wanted to keep this thing as healthy as possible. I think this is Conga's pretty much huge here, but he predicts the switch into Kappa, which was really my only play. Goes into Serp, but that's fine since we still have Toga here. We can sack, go into Darmanitan, and then Flare Blitz for another kill. Or Superpower. Or U-turn. Well, probably not U-turn. I don't even remember what I did here now, to be honest. I do have to be careful because more than one Flare Blitz will kill me. Of course. I really gotta save it for the end. And we're not quite at the end yet. Go for the U-turn, he goes into zone. So I get to go into Rotom and then Volt switch back into Darm. Wait. Yeah, okay, I Volt switch here. So he Thunderbolts. This is why I like Iapapa here. I mean, this is just a free turn for me, right? It's like he Thunderbolts me, I get all that health back. It's pretty much just like a free turn. Back into Darm. And I get another free superpower right here. Now he needs to sack. I mean, he can't take another attack with Conk. He goes into Serp. He lives a superpower. I don't know if Conk might have been better for him there and tried to Mach Punch. I don't know. He goes into Serp anyways, so I have to sack Rotom. Reveals the Giga Drain, which is scary. I mean, he gets health back now. I don't know if... I mean, for sure superpower doesn't kill now, even if it... Or if it did even before. But now I have to Flare Blitz and might even die. So really, I have to Flare Blitz here. I mean, superpower doesn't kill. I just have to hope that if he switches into Conk, that, you know, Flare Blitz doesn't kill me. Or if, I mean, if he does do that, I don't know. It's interesting because if he goes into Conk, it dies. And he has to hope that I die from recoil so that he can Leaf Storm Kappa because it wins. But if he stays in on this, then he just loses because Kappa versus Conk. I mean, Kappa's winning that. Really, it came down to him hoping that I die from Flare Blitz. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think he should have switched into Conk here, but I guess it doesn't matter in the end. Because I don't think I would have died anyways. Especially since I lived this here. Can't imagine that Serp had less HP than this Conk does. So I sacked Darm. And go into Kappa. Now, since we know this is sheer force, we know that Rock Slide will not be flinching. So really all I have to hope for is that Hex doesn't crit me. I mean, Rock Slide doesn't crit me. And I win. And I also forgot that I recorded audio here. So I had a little bit of a pop-off. I'll let you guys hear that. It's pretty fun. Some people were saying flinch in chat, but we already know that it's sheer force, so it doesn't flinch. Alright, here we go.
Let's fucking go.
Let's hear that one more time.
Let's fucking go.
Anyways. So yeah, that was a lot closer game than probably should have been. Maybe I'll upload next week's game against Buy Next Door. Unless I get cracked. Cracked? What? Huh? Thanks for watching.